What it do, twin? It's your aunt from the A. I need you to sit down for this one. Uh, what I'm about to read to you is not a theory. It is not a rumor. It is not something somebody posted on social media. It is a signed federal affidavit submitted to a U.S. district court. I'm gonna put the case number in the bottom, and that just was filed May 20th of this year, 2026, in Virginia, in the Eastern District of Virginia. And you can pull it up yourself right now. I'm gonna throw the link in the description. Go read it yourself, but I will show it to you. Because when I tell you what's in this document, I don't want you to think I'm exaggerating. I'm not. The FBI just walked into a man's house and found over $40 million in gold bars. His name is David John Rush, senior executive senior executive service level employee. That's SES at a United States government agency in the Eastern District of Virginia. Now, that's the highest tier of civilian federal employment in this country. And that's one step below a presidential appointee. He held a top secret clearance, TSSCI, and that means he has sensitive compartmented information, classified national security material, the kind of access most people in this country will never get close to. And according to this federal affidavit, he built that entire career on a foundation of lies. Every single day he walked into that building was another day of fraud. And let me walk you through what he claimed on his federal applications. Bachelor of Science in Mathematics from Clemson, class of 2000, Master of Science in Electrical Engineering from Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, 2004, a certification from the United States Naval Test Pilot School, graduated from the U.S. Air Force Test Pilot School, an 11-year tenure as a dissertation advisor at the Air Force Institute of Technology, current director of tests for a 145-person, 18 aircraft Joint Army Navy Weapons Test Organization. Here is what the investigation found. Clemson University checked his name, his social security number, his date of birth, and sent back a letter that said they have no record of David John Rush ever attending that institution, not one semester, not one class. RPI said the same thing, not in their system. The FAA confirmed he has never held a pilot's license, not one, ever. His actual Navy job, information systems technician, IT, not a pilot, not a test evaluator, not a dissertation advisor. He worked in IT. Now, here's something I need to point out because I serve, and this part hits different when you know how the military actually works. I did my time, 14 Echo Army, Fort Bliss. So when I tell you this, I understand, I know exactly what I'm talking about. In order to become a commissioned officer in the U.S. Navy in '01 and ensign, the absolute bottom rung of the officer ranks, you're required to have a college degree. That is not a preference. That is not a suggestion. That is a hard requirement. No degree, no commission, period. David Rush got commissioned as an ensign in 2004 based on a Clemson University transcript he submitted to the Navy. A fake transcript that Clemson just told investigators they cannot verify because they have no record of this man ever attending their school. So let me be clear about what that means. He didn't just lie on this government job application. He lied to the U.S. Navy first. He submitted a fraudulent document to get commissioned as an officer. Every single rank he ever wore, '01 ensign, '02 lieutenant junior grade, '03 lieutenant, was based on a piece of paper that wasn't real. He should have never gotten those bars. He should have never worn that uniform as an officer. The whole thing started with one fake transcript submitted in 2004. And then after he got out, he told his federal employee he kept going all the way to '06 captain, a rank he was never even legitimately on the path to reach. 20 years, one fake document, and nobody checked. And here is where it compounds even further. In 2009, the year his third job application finally worked, Rush submitted what's called a SF 86. If you're in the military, you know exactly what that is. That's a federal security clearance application. It's the form you fill out to get access to classified information under oath. And on that form, he listed the Clemson degree, the RPI masters, all of it. Lying on the SF 86 is a federal crime by itself, separate from anything else in this affidavit. But he didn't just lie on it, he got approved. He walked into classified spaces with a TSSCI clearance every single day for 15 years on the back of credentials that did not even exist. Every single day. Now, here's the part that hits different if you serve. David Rush was honorably discharged from the Navy Reserves on February 1st, 2015, as a lieutenant, '03. That's where his military service ended. February 2015, done. All right. Except he didn't tell his federal employer that. For the next 10 years, he told the US government he was still in the Navy Reserves, not as a lieutenant, as a captain. '06, two full ranks above where he actually separated. And he claimed that military leave on his official government timesheet every single year. 744 hours total. Approximately $77,000 in compensation for military duty that was not happening. He was still doing it as recently as September 2025. There are veterans in this country who wait years to get their actual benefits processed. And this man collected military leave for a decade from an obligation that didn't exist. And he couldn't have even been an officer in the first place without that fake transcript. The whole thing traces back to one document, one lie in 2004. So, but twin, everything I just told you, that's still just the appetizer. So between November 2025 and March 2026, 5 months, David Rush submitted official requests to the U.S. government, or USG, as it says in the affidavit, if you read it, just so you won't be confused, to receive tens of millions of dollars in foreign currency and gold bars for, and I'm reading directly for the affidavit, work related expenses. And somebody inside the agency approved it. But you got to remember, he was probably at the top of the list. So, you know. But before I tell you what they found, I want you to see what Reuters reported on where this gold came from. So, watch this.
Fort Knox holds more than $600 billion worth of gold. President Trump wants to know if it's all still there. Since 1937, America's most secure vault has guarded more than half of the nation's gold reserves. So secure, they've only let visitors in 3 times. Successful heists have only existed in James Bond films and cartoons, but questions over whether the gold is still there have fueled conspiracy theories for decades.
This ain't no conspiracy theory. This ain't no conspiracy theory. There's some gold missing. Where did it come from? Where did it come from, people?
Now, Trump wants answers and has just raced to the top of his to-do list. Why? Well, a former senior CIA officer stands accused of stealing hundreds of gold bars worth over $40 million. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says that annual audits confirmed that all gold is present and accounted for. Even Elon Musk floated the idea of a live-streamed audit to Fort Knox. So far, nothing has materialized.
Live audit of Fort Knox. Ain't nobody trying to do that. Y'all trying to get this heist going. I already see it. Somebody trying to get a heist going. We don't want no live audit. The gold should just be there. That's the bottom line. The gold should be there.
While gold prices have slumped over 17% since the Iran conflict erupted in late February, wiping out most of this year's gains. But even as its price ebbs and flows, gold remains a timeless measure of wealth. President Trump knows that, and he wants to see it for himself.
Wow, that's crazy, guys. That is crazy. So you saw that, right? You saw it. You saw it with your own eyes. They were talking about doing a live stream. Uh, that's not me. That's Reuters, one of the most trusted news organizations on the planet. Keep that in mind as I finish this story. Let me say that again. Somebody signed off on tens of millions of dollars in gold bars for one man's work expense account with apparently zero verification, zero accountability, zero paper trail. The question, who approved this, is not answered. Now, my take on it, he was one of the top people. He was working with some of Trump's people. He was working with some of Trump's people in this. I mean, he had ties to Feinberg, which is part of I think he's the deputy director of the Department of War or Department of Defense, whatever you want to call it. Um, but the agency, is only referred to as USG. The government is protecting whoever signed off on it. So when investigators checked the storage space at his government office where the currency was supposed to be kept, most of it was already gone. No paperwork, no record of where it went, nothing. The FBI gets a search warrant for his house. They executed it on May 18th, 2026. They walk in and find 303 gold bars, each one weighing 1 kilogram. And based on current gold prices, the value exceeds $40 million. $2 million in US currency, cash in his house. 35 luxury watches, many of them Rolex. In his house. And twin, I need you to understand something. That what was left. Some of the gold and currency was already gone before the FBI got there. The affidavit does not tell us where that portion went. That is still an open question. Nobody has answered. So they charged him with one count, theft of public money under 18 USC 641. On paper, that sounds almost mild compared to everything I just described. But understand, this is the arrest warrant affidavit. This is the opening move. Prosecutors don't stack every charge in the complaint, they get you in custody first. The fake degrees alone could add wire fraud and false statements on federal forms. The fraudulent Navy transcript is its own lane. The SF 86 lies stack on top of that. The military leave is a separate theft count. And the goal, that's potentially money laundering territory on top of everything else. This man had top secret SCI access. He was inside classified spaces, guys. He was inside classified spaces for 15 years. And somebody in that agency handed him tens of millions in gold with no questions asked. The affidavit is 8 pages long. It is verified. It's signed by a U.S. Magistrate Judge William Fitzpatrick, and it says what it says. So, um, let me let y'all take a look at that. So you don't think this is something I'm just making up. Um, we're gonna remove that. That's not what we're looking for. What we looking for, people? We're looking for that. That's what we're looking for right there. All right. And basically, what this is the affidavit. And it talks about everything that they talked about in the court case on yesterday. So this is current news. This is just released. I got the affidavit right here, the criminal complaint, and what they say he took and what exactly happened. I'll put the link in a PDF below in the description if you want to go check it out. I'm gonna scroll through it right here. It's like 8 pages. If you wanted to, you can slow it down. Let me put myself over here on the bottom, man. So Y'all can take a look at it. Let's go back through it. All right. It's the criminal complaint and arrest warrant. And this talks about everything that happened. Now, I want you to remember when they did this, this was in a federal court behind closed doors with no cameras in there. So that's why if you look for any evidence of the court case, all you're going to get is the affidavit because they didn't want anybody to have any cameras in the courtroom. Interesting. So here's the affidavit signed by the magistrate judge and also the special agent that's prosecuting it. So if you're interested, I'll have the link below. You can check it out yourself. But that's pretty much what's going on, right? Boy, that was a lot. One fake transcript submitted in 2004. That's all it took. Fake officer bars, fake degrees, fake military rank for 10 years after he got out, $40 million in gold bars at the crib, $2 million in cash, 35 Rolexes, and some of the gold is still missing. This all happened in the Eastern District of Virginia, filed May 20th, 26. Link in the description. Go read it yourself. Stay tuned because this story is still pending. And the timing of what happened 2 weeks after this arrest warrant dropped, right? The fact that they have it behind closed doors, they're probably trying to sneak it up under the rug. But I'm watching them, right? Because I'm just here to make sure we don't forget. If this hit, share it, drop it in somebody's comments. And if you're new here, you already know what to do. I'm Unc from the A, so I'll see you on the next one.